Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, joined with hubby and fur babies. And today we are going to work on the scales and tail of the mermaid. Now, what you're looking at here is a very big piece. I finally got the pattern the way I wanted. Fixed the nails, didn't like them so much, so I fixed the nails. Now they're just pointy, so they can stab fish. Let me pull this out. I didn't even get this fully. See, it's a big piece.
It is a big piece.
It is a big piece. I did not get everything transferred because I was indisposed last night and the night before. So I did get the tail and the scales right here transferred. That way we can get started. I didn't go with the face because we did that last week, so basically I just have to fill that in. Sorry, I need to grab tape. Fill that in off camera since you guys already saw it. The face is a little bit bigger, thank goodness. But I didn't want to bore everybody with that, so we're just going to focus on the scale and tail. So if you're watching on replay, I'm going to tape this up so I don't lose my pattern. Hopefully the shadow's not too bad for you guys. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, get the camera out of my face, and we are going to start with the body scales. I am going to start off with the 18 small because it's a thinner tip and easier to get into smaller areas, and my burner is blocked. I'm going to start off.
Oh, and lay down.
Make sure I'm picking the right side. Start off at 2.5. And I think because this is going to have a dark background, I'm going to go with a lighter tail. That's my thinking. Or lighter, scaly body part. I guess that's the tail, kind of. Anyway. With this tail, it's a betta fish. Let me move the camera up there. This is a betta fish. It's point right there. Tail, but I haven't decided if I want to make it more see-through, more transparent, which means it would be dark because the water's dark in that area. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. Get a drink, say hi to Andrea, Teresa, Sheila. And we're going to get going. So, because this board is so big, my scratch boards that I have like attached to my background, I can't do that this time because I have a different background in order to. It's kind of hard to see off to the side. Yeah, it's dark enough. Trying to decide, do I need to lower my chair so that I'm not at an awkward position. My hair out of my face. Tap that board again. I'm going to hand you
me
this. I'm going to very quickly pop up the actual tail. There we go. So just focusing on the tail. Now, the scale's lighter, but in order for this to look right, the scales do need to overlap because they, based on this tail, wouldn't be flat scales. So I'm going to start basically at the bottom, and here's where the problem is going to be. For purpose of the camera, I can't really turn my board because it's so big that it moves my lights and whatnot. So I'm going to have to stand on my head.
Okay.
If this was off camera, I would be moving things around. But so I'm going to start at the very bottom. Now I put rocks in front of her tail because I couldn't get, bless you, I couldn't get an angle that I liked. So sometimes it's okay to hide something. So if you're not happy with the hand, putting it behind something, totally normal. Artists do it all the time. And I wasn't happy with how the end of the tail looked, which you guys can see on screen without the rocks. So I hid that end. Now there's going to be a shadow up against the next set of scales. So I'm just using the tip at the darkest part because I'm set at 2.5. And then I'm more half tip and doing ovals to fill it in, going lighter to the end. Now there's a rock right here, so I'm not going to fill it in fully. Try to smooth this, make this a smooth gradient. And also because this is bending, it would be away from the light anyway, so it's going to be darker. I'm going to bump down to 2. Just so. Not quite as dark. Because of what all is going on in this piece, I definitely have to have a good set of lights, or it's going to feel very monotone. So I need some good darks and some good lights. So I'll go up to the next scale, start at the top. Put the dark closest to the base of the scale, and then come out lighter. And see, these are curving, so I'm also going to have to take that into consideration. Trying to go flat. Sorry if I'm off camera over here, because I've tried to go around the camera for you guys.
You're low, but you can see it just
what
fine.
I'm going to do is I'm going to angle this so you can see my tip better, hopefully.
Okay.
There we go. And then I'm not looking around the camera. Alright. Blow my tip just to cool it off for a second before I touch down. And then go up. Go to the next one. Because I'm more flat, it's going lighter. Probably should even leave a bit of a highlight area. Go to the next one, darker at the base, lighter as it comes down. The shadow between the two are going to get smaller because of perspective. And then more of the scale will be lighter. Now this is where the scale goes over. So the knee bend here, so this, think of it person-wise, a thigh coming into the base of the body. So I've got to watch the direction of the change. Smaller shadows. Move over to this. We need the light overlapping the dark. And then we can go back and shade it properly for like under the hand and just in general where things are bending. Let's see here, let's go back down to this bigger one.
Did you know Morgan is very good?
She's being very good. Good girl.
And Layla is right up against your chair.
It ain't Layla herself. Being up against my chair, I worry about.
And she's right up against the wheels.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, right now I don't need to move, so
Okay.
I think we're good. Overlap. And that is how all scales would be done. I would make sure that you pay attention to the direction of the light because that's going to affect the end of the scale, meaning where you see more of it, whether it's darker or lighter. So I'm just going to quickly block this in. Just so we can see some overlap.
Yeah.
So hopefully it makes more sense. And then I've got this light grain going through it. But we see a little bit of overlap happening. Let's see here. Let's go over to here. Right up against that scale, just the tip.
I had to refresh my chat.
Oh.
I was watching my chat. I was like, why isn't anybody saying hi? I looked up and there's like, Burl's here.
Oh, hey, bro. I thought she wasn't going to. Oh,
Burl's
she's at
karate camp.
Yeah, for her grandson.
Oh, she's not taking karate?
I haven't answered her message yet because I was trying to get this transferred enough for the live stream, and then had a shower scare. It was all a morning.
There was a spider
who wanted to come say hi, and I wasn't having it. Called for the spider night, but didn't do it loud enough. So I had to quit being damsel in distress and do it myself.
I didn't hear you.
I know you didn't hear me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Good morning.
I'm having a dog nose in a place that most people don't want a dog nose. Alright, so we can start seeing the layer, how the scales are layering on top. And I'm leaving this white gap because it can always be darkened. It's much easier than trying to lighten it. So that's why.
What, karate camp wouldn't be that funny, Burl?
And then we will switch over to the tail. So do we have any questions about scales? They're very repetitive. And I know some burners make tips specifically for scales. But then it becomes very marking ants all the same, and loses detail and definition.
Well, yeah, and you can't vary the size, really.
Yep.
So.
And as the artist, you want a little bit of leeway in order to change things. But when you use a specific tip like that, you have less control.
Spence is here.
Hey, Spence.
He says he's late, he's sorry, he's all over the place.
So am I.
Oh, well, you know, I felt that way at first, too, girl. But I am, you know.
You're working on becoming a black belt.
I am, but it's very hard. Black belts normally happen within, 2 years, and I'm on year 6. So.
Okay, but all in fairness, you're a retired disabled vet who, when you're hurting, you can't do it.
And sometimes I feel like I will die when I'm there. So I'll feel you, Burl.
Yeah, but she's there for her grandkid. Unless he talked her into doing it. Alrighty, so we can start seeing the layering happen. Things still need to be darkened up, especially down here, to match that scale. Again, there's a rock that goes right here, so that's why it stops. I'm going to move over, move the camera up.
You know, I know Burl knows this, but you know, every live, this coaster gets usage. So some people, you
awesome gift.
You give a Christmas gift or something like that, and maybe it doesn't get used. Let me tell you, it gets used every week, Burl. Every week.
Alright, so this is my reference photo. It's easier for me to point things out. We've got shading in between, but we need to make sure to overlap here so it looks like the tail is folding. It's the overlaps followed by the highlights that make the movement of the tail. So we got to keep that in mind. And this almost looks like a flower petal down here. And this is what, up close, we can see that there are contour shading to give it shape, but I didn't get onto this side. So we will worry about that later. And for there, even these, you could it's cartoony 3D tail. You can still see that they put shadow underneath in order to lift the scales up towards the viewer.
But bro, if we use the soap, it goes away, and then we don't have it. So, I'm sorry.
I told her I would.
It's decorative. All right, we'll use it.
Even if it's just on the hands. He's wondering if it, how my skin does with the specific soap he made. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fold my reference so I have it right here. We have some bend, and I had to custom make this tail so it's multiple pieces put together. So I'm flat. You can get a darker edge just by twisting just slightly my tip. Get some shading up here with just the tip, and then drag down more flat to lighten it up and pull some heat from my tip. Sorry. My brain's like, okay, you need to go here and you need to go here. So right here, I'm just using the side. I'm just very slightly angling the tip, just twirling it between my fingers.
Burl says we won't get any more soap if we don't use it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Kathy's here.
Hey, Kathy. Alright. So just like the other scales, I'm trying to bump up just against the area of separation. These overlaps are what help give interest. Keep it from being flat. And again, this is a betta fish tail. Never done one of those. And I thought, design-wise, it would be more interesting. So that's why I switched it out. And if I move quicker, I can get a lighter line. And this is technically outlining like it looks, but we're going to blend it in so it doesn't read as a outline. Because just these are the areas that are the darkest.
That's already looking really good.
So I'm going to go flat over these lines. And this gives me more shading. So the darkest part's going to be on the line, and then we get some shading. So I can twirl and get a thinner line, and that's why I'm working with the 18 small, because it's thinner. No attitude, child.
Oh, she's got one of her rocks or something. She thought everybody wanted it.
Nobody wants your rock.
Exactly, that's what I said.
Alright, so going flat, I can go lighter. I'm moving quicker. So we're going to have some shading in here because there's an overlap. But it is very similar to a flower petal. If you can find similarities from other things that you've already burned, it'll make things simpler. Because the same concepts apply and you've already done it.
Now you got 2 dogs around your wheels.
Okay. Right now I don't need to move. Don't need to move. I do need to erase. So let's pull some of the graphite. Now remember that's dark behind the tail. I almost wonder if I shouldn't put some dark in, but I don't have my line because the tail does cross the framing. but I don't have that transferred right now. So I'm going to have to hold it off. So I don't lose.
Well, there's other pieces to work on. Other parts of it, I mean.
Huh?
There's other parts of it you can work on.
Yeah. So I just keep shaping these, making sure I have some highlights. Now I'm thinking the light is coming at this angle, but the tail is behind her. So it still would get light on this side. So what I'll do is put more shading on the right side. Although once you get to this side, the tail kind of curves. So there would be less light.
Traces. Yeah, she was here earlier, but apparently she had a call, so she's back.
Gotcha. Welcome back. Alright, so this is a different part to a different tail. Actually, yeah, this is a whole different tail. It's connected right here. It's actually the original tail I was going to go with, but then decided to change it. With this right here, look at my pattern so I can see the rock. The rock comes across like this. Alright, so I'm just going to go up against the graphite, and I can go darker with this. Angle it more to the right so I can get darker up against the line. And then blend it out.
Oxy.
My tip is flat. And
Oxy.
I'm just going over the same area.
Hey, baby.
Alrighty. Then we can start pulling up some of these lines, a little more detail, to connect them with the tail. Since it's two different things, two different tails happening, two different objects, we have to make sure to bring them together, or it won't work. It'll feel separate and not made together. So, gotta incorporate them together. Your biggest help is going to be your pen control. Let's pull this down a little bit. And then I'll negative burn up against this area and darken it. But because I don't have the dark background in right now, it's kind of hard to juggle that. So I'm going to go ahead, let that be here. Now this finny part here is from the original mermaid tail. And now that I look at it, I probably would have been better off just leaving it out. But it's in the pattern, it's here. I do think, because it's more transparent, that maybe I should kind of keep it that way. And actually, even if I didn't get rid of it, what I should have done is brought it down and rested it, versus just having it floating in the air. But there's really not a whole lot I can do with it now, especially since I've already burned this area. I won't point it out to people who look at the final piece, but I'm telling you that because you need to know.
Thank you, Spence. Don't forget to like. Thank you.
Yes, please. Alright. So with this being more translucent, it looks like the lighter areas are like at the top of the hump, basically. So that means we can angle to the right because that's where I'm holding pen. And we'll put our darks in. Let's see, I got another one. I can actually angle to the right since I'm above it. Use my thinner edge to get the dark. There we go. Right up against. Trying to create that overlap. See, normally I wouldn't have gone all the way to the edge of the board, but I needed the mermaid's face as big as I could get. And since the tail was already breaking the frame, I think, and the ghost mermaid face is the hair that is, what little hair is going to be there, it's also going to be breaking the frame and going all the way to the edge. I think it's okay. But normally I would have brought this in at least a ½ an inch, just because. But with the situation and needing a bigger face, I had to go bigger. The edges of this wood, I'm planning on painting so that it's a finished piece without a frame, because this is a pretty big piece to try to frame. I'd have to actually build a frame for it. We have shorter. What I didn't put in the pattern was that there's some shorter lines. I'm just going to break up this thicker area with those. Then I think it'll be better since I forgot them. There we go. Pull this down, top half of the tip. It was actually hard to transfer the pattern too so
Mike
far.
Is here.
Huh?
Dances with art. Mike dances with the aardvarks.
Hey!
That's right,
Hey,
right?
Mike. Yeah. It's been a long time since he visited, so I think so. Alrighty. So now, total-wise, we have very similar tones. Did I print out? I did. See how much lighter that or darker that is to the tail. So I think I'm going to skip the transparent and just make it darker. Yeah, that's what I shall do. So I keep building that one up, but I do want to get up here to the tip of the tail and some of the folds, so we are going to move up here. There we go. Are you guys being able to see the tip okay on the angle I'm doing?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So, looking at this, we have a shadow from a fold right here. So we're going to put that in. Just drag nice and slow so that it goes darker. And then it'll lighten up as more heat is pulled from the tip.
Robert Fisher's here.
Hey, Robert. We're getting some of the old gang back.
That's nice.
It is nice. Miss Dome. Alrighty. So we drag, because this has a shadow. So I'm just going to drag straight down, flat, lifting every so often just to darken a little bit. And lifting, my tip is getting some of its heat back, because wood always pulls the heat.
Mike had to go back to work full time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, apparently to buy some new toys for his workshop.
Oh, well then, I guess it was worth it. Gotta buy the toys. Must have the toys. I need a new table saw. So I need more people to watch. I need a new table saw. I need a new toy. Does it work that way?
Sure. Kathy says we all need new toys for our workshop.
Yeah. Alrighty, so right here we can start seeing this becoming more prominent. And now we see more of a fold. So just like with the flower petal, we follow the lines and get the shading in. And angle them in the direction that they're going. So now it looks like this curves up as it does. And then angle, just slight angle to the right, just so I can get a thick burn with a darker edge closer to the area I'm going for. Just a little twist. It's so minute that once you, if you don't already do it, once you start practicing, you'll be doing it all the time. And that's how we can get shadows right up against an area without outlining it as much. So angling, twisting, because these have some darker areas. Some of it is thinner, so I go more on the edge. And then some has a thicker shadow. Down. Gotta separate these. And we start seeing folds. So this is how you would do fabric. This is how you would do flower petals. I'm trying to think what else where you would do a lot of up to the subject or within the subject shading without creating an outline. Well, fabric, flower petals, obviously fishtails. Let's see, where else? Where else could we use the rolling of the tip? So here, I'm rolling to the left, but on this side, I'll have to roll to the right. Let's tuck this in. It's darker right here. What popped up?
It's just a notification for something.
Is it a text?
Oh.
Alright. Don't lose my face. So this side is darker, so our light is right here. So it starts off with a little bit of shading and then goes down lighter.
Teresa is going out west to see the grandkids next week.
Yay!
Then back to selling home. Toys are all packed up. Oh.
Right.
Burl says waves and ripples.
Yep, waves and ripples. Mm-hmm. Yep. Anything where you need shading up against something, but at the same time don't want that harsh line. So you're still burning, see, but we're getting a thicker line with shading where it needs to be. Let's see, this is coming down. It's harder for me to roll right versus rolling left, but I need to roll right in order to get the shading on the right side, correct side. Now, because I have a harder time rolling right, I would actually flip my board and keep rolling left, because now the area I need to burn is on the left-hand side versus the right. But this is a really big piece. This is a 23.5 by 13.5 piece of basswood. So it's very tall. I had to print out the pattern, and I was fighting with that several times. And I'll show you where my pattern actually doesn't come together like it's supposed to. And I got to the point of the effort part, the effort point, and I will have to draw in the area because there's nothing to transfer there. I don't know why it happened. I'd already printed out so many copies. In fact, I had to engineer one of them because it kept cutting off her hand. And I'll show you. It's the pattern that's attached, so I'll show you here in a minute. But you can see we're starting to get, I'll come back up here, starting to get that tail feeling without massive harsh lines. Because those harsh lines, unless the fish is very decorated, and that's part of how the fish is decorated, those harsh lines are going to take away from your burning. We'll make this light around it.
Mike says one of his favorite paintings ever is Boris Vallejo's Mermaid and Triton.
Don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, Boris.
Oh, I know who Boris is.
Oh, I know, he's an amazing artist.
You have to look it up for me if you could right now on your phone. So I can see what it looks like. I did not look at a lot of mermaids because I didn't want to take from anyone. So easy to go down. So let's, while you're doing that, I'm going to grab my white and figure out where I want my brightest to be. Just so we can see. Remember, it's going to be dark behind it. And this just acts as a visual for my brain to go, okay, that's where some lights go. And then I don't have to worry about trying to erase, scratch out some lights because I've already got them. And this is just the general charcoal white 558.
Teresa's sister just had a stroke, apparently.
Oh no.
I mean,
I just talked to her sister.
Just happened. I don't know.
I just talked to her sister. She messaged me a response because I was looking for Teresa. She finally just got back to me a couple days ago. just very quickly. Remember, this erases. It comes off with the denatured alcohol. If you push hard enough, you could get it into the grain, and then it won't remove as much. And then you can go back and brighten it up. And I can just kind of shape the tail with these lights. See, right here it has a really light area. But we definitely need them because I think it would get too busy if we don't have it. I'm just going to look and see where else I could want some lights.
Our sister's got weakness on one side, but she's going through therapy now.
Yeah.
Mike wants to know if the mermaid is going to be in or out of the water.
Okay, so I will very quickly, let me see if I still have one on here. This mermaid's out of the water. There are actually 2 mermaids in this piece. Let me see if I can find, I'll just change this. Oh, it's already there. Done. This, minus the white eyes, is the full piece. Basically, actually, I need to change that photo. Cancel. Where did I pull that up? There it is. Let me put a new reference photo up. Because that's not... I didn't save. Well, this is the drawing of her. Nope. What? I can't see. Can't see. Fine. We'll go with that one. You can see, based on that, she's going to have... It's mainly just looking at the pattern. Oop, excuse me. I guess since I got this down, we can discuss the printing of this pain in the butt. So for whatever reason, these 2 did not line up. Or actually, it's not that they didn't line up, something didn't print. So it's her shoulder right here in her hair, so I will draw that in. But as for the second mermaid, her face is gonna, you'll be able to see her eyes, her nose, part of her lip, and the scales, and then it's gonna push back. But she's gonna be more of a ghost versus a like full-on face. The green lines here designate for my pattern that this is going to be seaweed in her hair. And then her hair coming out outside the border. And then the mask, I intentionally, he looks half person, half fish. The purpose of the mask is the beauty that they hide behind. So that people aren't scared of them. And then this, it's a big piece. This is the bottom. And this is the area we're working on right now. And I had to put a lot of stuff together for this. In fact, that's my hand, because I couldn't get the angle right of any hand holding. So I had to take a bunch of pictures, selfies of me holding things in order to get the angle of the hand right. And then he has her boobies, but because this is YouTube, I actually use some seaweed to cover any main areas so that I don't get hit, because I did get hit for the lupus piece. I did keep getting demonetized for that piece, even though it's not like it showed anything. But she was nude, and in every video got hit with that. Got it fixed, but it did. So that is the pattern. And I had to break it down into 4 pieces to print it out. And the top is up here. And the bottom's down here. Alrighty. So he's out of the water. And he's in the water. That's pretty much how it's going.
Yeah, Mike says that's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. And that's one of the reasons I decided to go with basswood, because it does burn faster.
And he also says Dark Mermaid, very nice.
Yep.
And Teresa says you're so good at creating.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And
it's finishing, I think.
Also, that is so awesome.
I appreciate it. And then the Super Toasties, I was going to give them like the sitting mermaid. I figured that maybe that would feel less daunting if they want it. Maybe they don't want it. That won't hurt my feelings. Alright. So back to these folds. Now that I've got some white in here, I have a visualization of where some of the lighter areas are.
Sheila, you still have anesthetic?
Sheila, I got your message. I will respond back. She had to have a procedure.
Oh, because she's apologized to Kathy. She said, I don't know why I said Kathy. I think the anesthetic is still wearing off.
No, she had to have a procedure.
Kathy says, wow, I can't wait to see the finished product.
Oh, this is going to end up going behind the paywall, because I have decided, starting August 2nd, the lives are going just to the members. And then I will post a quick version of what we did that previous day for the lives. Reading let's just say, sometimes change needs to occur in order for momentum to start back up again.
Yeah.
And I figured if it doesn't work out, it's not like I can't go back to going full lives available to everybody. But today is my 6th year on YouTube. 6 years ago today, I uploaded my first video.
Wow, that's kind of a birthday.
It is.
Kind of like another birthday that you just had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because my regular birthday was yesterday. Yep. And 6 years ago today, I finally got the nerve, after watching videos of people doing things I find questionable, decided to upload and hopefully get proper information to everybody.
And make your own questionable videos.
I haven't made any questionable videos. Oops, I lost my tail. But luckily I have the lights in, so I can hold my breath and kind of go around it. Now this might seem dark right now, but once the dark background of the water's in, this is going to lighten up a lot. Just angling to get a thinner shadow in certain areas. But yep. Six years ago today. Lots of hustle.
Yeah.
Only to have things.
Only to have what?
Only to have things not go like one hopes.
That's alright. We're still here.
Well, that's why change has to happen. If something's not working, you gotta change stuff.
Yep.
Now, if only I made just enough money on YouTube to hire an editor, because then you guys would have so many more videos, because I have years of video recorded for a lot of just about every piece. But sitting down and editing takes so much time Then I'm like, well, one of these days I'll put that video out. I need to do the voiceover for the Corvus Nebula. Corvus, yeah, Nebula. The hot air piece. It's all finished. I have all that edited, including how I did the lights. I just have to now do the voiceover.
So, Kathy says, congrats, happy birthday.
Good girl.
And Teresa says, you like that small spear shader, I think. I must get one.
I do. I do.
Burl has to go. Class is over. So I guess karate is over.
He's like, class over. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
It's Burl. We have to stop when she says.
I'm sorry.
She knows karate.
Get some of this graphite off so we can see. It is going to take off some of the white, but I'm okay with that. I'm just doing this so I can see how dark things are. So that means I've been on here for 6 years, and I've been live streaming for 5 years. Unfortunately, YouTube isn't promoting my live streams anymore. Plus some of the comments that I got in my group made me go ahead and make the decision. So you can become a member by clicking join here next to my name on the video. Or you can join through my Ko-fi, link in the description, and you'll get the same posts over there. In fact, I still need to finish posting all the patterns for Kathy over there.
Gotcha.
Just trying to separate some stuff. And then it's going to be a matter of probably taking... It may be one of the spin shaders and just filling this in. But I needed to get my shape. Just using the tip very lightly to fill in the top of the tail. Because that negative burning of the water is going to shape it at the top. But I still need to have some shading on it.
Gotcha.
I do also highly recommend the 18 extra small. I went with the small today just because it's a thinner tip on the edge. It's thinner, so that when I'm doing the roll to cut in some shading, it's thinner versus the extra small spear shader. It's a little thicker.
Gotcha.
So that's why I chose this tip.
Okay.
Alrighty, so I would just keep filling in the tail.
You actually got a lot done. Considering the size of it, because that's a lot of area. Like on the screen here, it doesn't maybe seem like too much, but
can I have the ruler?
That's a large area.
For the tail, just this area, the tail. Yeah, I just need that. It is it's about 7 inches wide here. And then here, we're looking at 5 inches. Granted, it comes in and whatnot, but that's what we're looking at. So yeah, we did get a lot filled in. Oops, thank you. And then down here, it's hard to, let me see, try to find an object that, so you know how big a roll of tape is. So that is how much we've got done in there. That roll of tape. Very quickly, I wanted to where her hands are. See, I can go and just put in my darks first. And then go back and put in the lighter.
Andrea has a question.
Yes.
Might be better if you read it.
Okay, I just focus. So I have to drop. No. You don't have to drop YouTube. It's an either or. It's not a both. Not a both. So it's $4.99 a month, either through YouTube or through Coffee. You do not. Please don't do both, because then
you're paying double.
You're paying double, and I don't want anybody to do that.
It's like renting 2 cars.
Yeah. Yep. So no.
Because you can only drive one at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Andrea is totally fine. It's gonna be just like when we do Sunday Lives, exactly like that, except every Tuesday, because we're already here. It's just that turns to a member live instead of an everybody live. Although every now and then I will do some lives for everybody.
Mike, I appreciate this. So I'm going to try and do this the best I can. Mike wants to know, are they drawn to scale?
Actually, they just... No. Dad joke. Need to have something that pops up good, flashing. Dad joke. Because that's what that was. Mike helped you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Right, so just right up against. And darker here, because basically sitting on that. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just going in and laying in a very quick dark.
You're welcome, Mike.
Is that how he pictured it?
Hey, you just said well done. So.
Alrighty. So under the hand, right here, she has webbing. But the scale is underneath it. This area is going to be darker because her hand is blocking the light. So I'm going to very quickly, even where I had been putting the lights, because of her hand sitting on top.
How much longer are we going? It's noon now.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So the members' lives will start August 2nd. I wanted to spend today with everybody. So that's why we're here. It's kind of a birthday, huh?
Yeah.
The birth of drawing with fire. Alrighty.
Teresa says after things calm down, she can rejoin, but there's too much stuff going on right now.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to practice this. I need to make sure that in our lives, in the member lives, that at least in the beginning, that I just talk about exactly what I'm doing. That way, when I pull that video, I can just cut that out, and the rest of it is for only the members. So cut out 10 minutes or less of the live of just explaining what I'm doing, probably in a speed version, so it makes the video even shorter. Hopefully that means people will watch. But you guys have access to all of the lives fully, no editing. But with the edited version, it's there if you need to come back and quickly look at something.
Kathy wants to know if they're still going to get notifications.
You absolutely will on Coffee. You're not gonna get them through YouTube. So I don't know if, cause she's on Ko-fi. Everybody else who's on Ko-fi is also in my Facebook group, the special secret one.
Yeah.
So they get all the notifications in there. Kathy, if you want to set it up where I text you right before the link before the live, so that you have it I don't know how well Ko-fi is giving you notifications of every time I post. Or I can send you an email. Could do that too. Since you're not in the group, in the Facebook group. Which if you ever decide to have Facebook, you're absolutely in the group. Alrighty. So I will definitely work it out with you to ensure you always get the notifications. So, in the scheme of things, I did get things done quickly. And they do look like overlapping scales.
Yep.
I just need to detail them more.
Yeah.
Fill this in more. I didn't do the arms, but it's going to be the same way as the body. But I think the ones on her arms and face, put this down, I think I'm actually going to go lighter with those. So that they're more, because they're right here, and right here. I think I'm actually going to leave those blank and burn the skin around it. So that it's more iridescent. I can always go back and paint some iridescent on the scales. But that's what I'm going to do with that. Of course, we've got the mask. We discussed that last week. So I think next week, I think we got 2 or 3 lives before it goes behind the paywall. So what do you guys want next week? I mean, definitely willing to accommodate on this piece. Oh, and if you join as a member, you also get patterns that you've seen me do live that the Super Toasties get. So there's a bunch of them. I think there's close to 40 patterns now. I need to check, so don't quote me on that. But there's a lot. There's a lot. So you have access to all those. And then whatever else we do. But no, Kathy, I will make sure you're taken care of. Thank you. Yes, I should have done a cake for drawing with fire.
Oh yeah.
Shoulda, coulda. Does that mean I get 2 cakes?
Yes.
Although I didn't get a cake yesterday. Did
I
get
asked
2?
you.
You did. Yes, you did. But I got ice cream.
Yes. And flowers.
Very, very fun ice cream.
And flowers. You
And
did
flowers.
Don't
Yes, I
forget the
did.
flowers.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Andrea. Let's see here. What would we want to do for next week? All of the pattern will be completely transferred. I'm using a ruler to get my straight lines drawn for the frame. We can go back to the face next week. I know it's a little bit bigger than this one.
Mike, why did the mermaid blush?
Why?
Because the seaweed. Gotcha. The seaweed. Okay. Sheila says, I think you should burn it in the order you prefer and actually get to finish the piece.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know if you guys wanted to see this
Kathy
again.
says you need 2 cakes. You deserve 2 cakes.
I deserve 2 cakes. Hey, I have lost 30 pounds. I eat 2 cakes and put 30 pounds back on. You know? And that was probably too much information. Oops.
Oversharing again.
Sorry. Well, the Super Toasties and I will figure it out.
Okay.
I think we might actually come back to her face since it'll be on the actual big piece. I mean, this is how big her head is here on this. So it's a little bit. Let me do this. The mask will probably.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Actually, it's about the same.
Yeah, it is.
So I know we did this, but I can think of this as practice and do it right here.
Just tape it onto the other one, and so you don't have to redo the face again.
Nope, just burn one.
Just tape it on there. It's fine.
Just tape it on there. Just
hot glue.
Here she is.
Yep, it's done.
Don't mind that her boobs are way back there.
It'll be more dimensional.
Yay, Daddy! Yay, Daddy! Mine was not intentional. happy with it, but not intentional. So hopefully it's not... there is some health issues there. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. So if we don't have any more questions, hopefully this was instructive. I've been told that I'm lacking in that. So hopefully I did better this time. I try. I really do.
I know you do.
Alright, let's get the camera out of my face so we can say this. Say it together with me, please.
It together with me.
You're awesome. You can do this. Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye. Food?
Yep.
Food?
What do you want?
Special brownie?
Really?
No. I didn't take